The next system we're going to go over just a little bit is the endocrine system with homeostasis. There's not a whole lot more we're going to talk about other than one particular aspect of the endocrine system. This organ is called the pancreas. The pancreas releases enzymes that help digest food. Remember that it releases that into the small intestine. The hormones are produced in these clusters of cells called islets of Langerhans. You don't have to know that term, so don't worry about that. There are beta cells in the islets that secrete insulin. Beta cells are the ones that secrete insulin, and alpha cells secrete glucagon. Insulin and glucagon help to keep the blood glucose level stable. This is a feedback loop, what you see here. I'm going to walk you through that. So when a person eats, their blood glucose levels rise because there's glucose in food. So the pancreas releases insulin, and the insulin basically forces cells to take glucose out of the blood. It prevents the blood glucose levels from rising too rapidly, and it makes sure that the glucose gets stored. This insulin also signals the liver and skeletal muscles to store glucose as glycogen. And then in fat tissue, glucose is converted to lipids. Then when the level of blood glucose drops, the other thing, glucagon, is released. This stimulates the liver, the skeletal muscle, and the fat cells to release glucose into the blood, helping raise the blood glucose level back to normal. So what you see here is a cycle. When the body fails to produce or properly respond to insulin, that's when diabetes mellitus occurs. We call it diabetes. The very high blood glucose levels that result from this disease can damage almost every system and cell in the body. So when diabetes happens, this feedback loop is broken. It's not working properly. But when it is working, let's walk through this real quick. So, someone eats food, blood glucose level goes up, insulin is produced. It promotes glucose uptake and storage. Between meals, the blood glucose level drops, glucagon is produced, and it promotes the breakdown of glycogen so that glucose can be released into the bloodstream. The pancreas releases each of these chemicals, insulin and glucagon, in response to blood glucose levels. There are two different kinds of diabetes. Type 1 is an autoimmune disorder. It usually develops before the age of 15. The immune system attacks beta cells, and because of that, there isn't any insulin because beta cells produce insulin. People with type 1 diabetes have to follow a strict diet. They have to get daily doses of insulin to control their glucose. Type 2 diabetes develops after the age of 40. These people produce low to normal amounts of insulin, but they don't properly respond to the hormone because the interaction of insulin receptors and insulin isn't working right.